the downside of middle age. Stay tuned.
Good morning, my fellow senior citizens. It's not often I get two on the show. Normally I just have to put up with one. But we're talking about the downside to middle age. Thanks for joining us. Steve Carroll, long-term friend of the Novaks, real estate expert. He's got many titles. Excited for this one, gents?
Morning, Billy. How are you?
Very well, thank you. And yourself?
Good. We're talking middle age, I hear. We're talking about getting to middle age and the downsides and the opportunities.
Yes, we are. Mark?
Yeah?
How are you?
Good, Billy. How are you, gents?
We were both excited for this when we knew Steve was coming on this morning.
I laughed when I heard the topic. I was like, nah, you can't say that. I reckon it's a cracker.
Well, Mark Novak, look, there's a few certainties in life, right? One certainty is we're all going to die, right? Another certainty is we reach that dreaded middle age where we reach the crossroads in life, Mark. It's called middle age.
Great, signaled by grey hair.
Signaled by grey. And I tell you when you know where you've reached that, you reach middle age, Billy. And you're only 19, Billy, so you're a long way off. But you reach middle age when you wake up one morning and you think to yourself, do you know what? I've been given so much to everybody else. You know, I've been given so much of my time and energy and my earnings to my family, my career, my work colleagues, and I just haven't been giving enough to myself. And that's middle age, Billy.
I'm listening.
That's middle age. And middle age for me was when someone turned around and said, how long have you been adult for? I'm like, 25 years. And they said, how long until you get to 70? I'm like, what? Like, how long until you get to 70? And it's like, 70, it's 25 years. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. So he literally halfway is like, no.
So Mark, I'll tell you something, mate. We all talk about innovation. We talk about entrepreneurship. We talk about disruption. One of the best things that has been created, and it's a middle-aged disruptor. It's called the Digital Live Bike Ride, right? And I'll tell you why it's a disruptor, because it is an opportunity for middle-aged people to do something for themselves for a week, which will make them feel like $1 million. They'll make them feel such a better human being when they're finished. It's called the Digital Live Bike Ride, Mark Novak, and you've been on it.
Yeah, so it was interesting because 3 years ago, Steve, you and I did a tour, a real estate research to a couple hundred real estate agents in Newcastle. And we were standing outside afterwards, and then you invited me to come on a bike ride at the time and do 500 bicycles. And within 15 seconds, I said, yeah, I'll do that. And then you continued to ask me a month after, 3 months after, 4 months after. I'm like, stop asking me. I'm coming. All right. I've already agreed. Like 6 months ago, we did together.
So Billy, let me Mark's right. Let me tell you a little bit about the bike ride. Well, the first thing is that when we call it a bike ride, Billy, it's a bit misleading. because when you've got a load of middle-aged people on two wheels, it's more of a meander. Yeah? We kind of meander across Thailand. I mean, if we went any slower, Billy, we'd fall off our bike. But believe it or not, we actually crack nearly 100 kilometers every day, and we do it for 5 days. And what happens, Billy, is we create this real bonding, this real camaraderie, which might sound a little bit silly when you're 19 and you've got two boomers talking to you about it right now. But that camaraderie, that teamwork is something that a lot of people that reach middle age miss. And the Digital Life bike ride serves it up in bucket loads. And not only do you get that camaraderie, Billy, but the best thing is when you get to the end of it, you cycle into an orphanage and you meet these great kids that you've raised lots of money for. And it gives you perspective, and it also makes you feel really satisfied in life. And that is the bike ride.
I've seen some photos. It does look good. It looks very good. Mark, you're a big fan. Yeah, Mark has talked about it a lot.
I did it twice, and any friends of Novak want to do it, give them a call, give Steve Farrell a call, and it's not expensive. A couple grand and you're done.
Yeah, I'd need to do a bit of training, Mark. Even the young age, I wouldn't be able to cope doing that without a bit of training.
Absolutely. So, Steve, with your middle age, how did that help in your middle age out of it? Particularly, I think, with Annie, your daughter, you had to do that as well.
Now we're getting a lot of echo, I think. Can you hear me okay, Billy? Is the echo just about Novak?
Yeah, we've got a few comments saying there's some echoing. It sounds all right on my end.
Yeah, I'm getting a bit of feedback myself. Is it the fact that I'm using a laptop? Should I be on a phone?
I think it's Aaron. It's the same.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad, Billy.
Jonathan Creek says they might not have training wheels for me in Thailand. That could be a problem. That could be a problem.
We'll just power on because I don't think we'll fix the second, but it's still better. Tell us about any of the ride, and you've been good, mate.
Hey, Billy, what was the question from Mark?
Tell us about Annie on the bike ride.
Oh, okay. So, you know what? One of the downsides of reaching middle age is your children grow up, Billy. And I've got 3 kiddies, one 22, one 21, and one 19. And what happens is they start to not actually need you that much anymore. And I was very fortunate to do the bike ride with my daughter, Annie, who at the time was 17 and a half. And Annie had just come out of a relationship, so she was a little bit emotionally upset. And she found the bike ride really rewarding, but she also found it fairly challenging. And there was one night, Billy, we were all room sharing. Annie and I were room sharing in a twin room. And I could see that Annie was really spent. She was tired. She was emotional. And I could see that she'd got a few tears in her eyes. And I said to Annie, you want to cuddle? Do you want to cuddle with Dad? Now, there's something a little bit weird about that, Billy. A grown man saying to their 17-year-old daughter, do you want to cuddle? And I was expecting some rude remark, but she actually turned around and said, that would be great, Dad. And that was a real special moment for me on the bike ride, because that night, Annie and I had this huge embrace. And then the next morning, We got up again and we did another 100 kilometers. But I'll always remember that moment. And I think the point of the bike ride is this, Billy. You know, the bike ride delivers so many different upsides for the people who partake. You know, maybe it's the camaraderie, maybe it's the giving to other people that are not as fortunate as us, or maybe it's just that reconnecting with your kids. And a lot of people that come on a bike ride take a big thing around that away from the whole experience. So that was the story of Annie, Billy.
That's a beautiful story.
One of the greatest moments in your life, Steve.
Yeah.
Most memorable.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going again in August. So August this year, and anybody that is middle-aged, reached that point in life where they're thinking there has to be more to it than this, either get in touch with me via Billy or Mark, or go on to www.digital-live.com.au, and you can read all about the bike ride in August. If you want to join me and a bunch of other real estate pros, there'll be about 30 of us, and it's a real middle-aged buster, I promise you.
And you don't have to be a real estate agent.
Don't have to be a real estate agent. But do you know what else I like? I don't know if we said it on air already, but we spoke about it off air. Middle age can be any age for someone. You know, for Annie, exactly. It turned it around a little moment in her life where obviously come out of a relationship. It could be any reason. It's a good cause to get on a bike and do something for yourself and for others.
You got it. Great summary, Billy.
Thank you.
And middle-aged, I called it the human upgrade. So I think for me personally, it was something that it raised a lot of, I think you got a lot of levels in your life. You got, you know, your family levels, your business levels, your health levels, your financial levels, you know, a lot of different even emotional levels within that. I think for me, upgraded a lot of levels in my life, and that's why I called it an upgrade with this ride. And you don't have to be a real estate agent, and it's inexpensive, and boy, it was fun.
Gents, I've got one question for you. This is actually quite a serious question. Do you think there is a window in your life where you're taken most seriously? So maybe 0 to 20, you're growing up, immature, they would say. So people won't take you seriously, maybe in business. And then maybe once you pass 70, people say, you know, he's just the old guy or something like that.
Let me have a crack at that. So, let me reframe the question, Billy. Let me reframe the question.
Okay.
I reckon you reach an age where you lose a sense of adventure, right? Now, this is not the question that you asked, but I'm just going to flip the question. And I reckon that you get to about 35 and you reach an age where you start to live within your comfort zone. Yeah. So I reckon between your age, Billy, and 35, you've got adventure, you've got excitement, you've got that willingness to do something. But you reach that age of about 35 and you start playing safe. And so, you know, my suggestion would be if you're over 35, stop playing safe, have a crack at doing something that is going to take you out of your comfort zone, because you won't regret it, Billy.
Love it. Mark?
I'll keep taking on debt.
Mark's NZT. You have to know Limitless to know what that is.
You got to keep hustling. You got to keep pushing, and I think Steve's spot on. Your balls shrink half from 20 to 30. 30 to 40, 40 to
But there's
50,
no,
50 to
but
60.
actually, Mark, there is no need. There is no need for balls reduction. You know, and there's a great Mark. Somebody once said to me this: you'll always find 101 reasons why not to do something. You'll always find 101 reasons not to do something. You know, it's just not the right time. The kids are at a strange age. It's this or it's that or the other. And what I often say to people is screw that. Find one reason to actually do it because you won't regret it. And whether or not that is, doing the bike ride, or whether or not that is relocating to a different part of the world, or whether or not it's about jumping out of an aeroplane at goodness knows how many feet, you know, it's always easy to find a reason not to do it. Find a reason to do it. You won't regret it.
COVID's not an excuse either.
Yeah.
That's a
Okay,
bad one.
guys, I've got to get down. I've got to get moving. Always good talking to the Novaks, and I've got to get ready for work. So catch you later, guys.
Great advice. Thank you, Steve Carroll. Thank you, Billy Drury. Have a great day, everyone. Go hard.
Ages just enough.